Hi everyone, I am Celine and welcome to my channel. This is my second tarot reading on YouTube. I am so excited for it and thank you for checking out my channel. I want to start this reading by apologizing to everyone who watched my first video. I realized while editing it that there were a lot of delivery issues on my end. I said a lot of ums and yeah, and any combination of ums and yes. So I was telling my friend that if anybody was watching my video and they had a drinking game where they would take a shot or have a drink every time I say those words, they would be drunk before they hear anything important. So I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, I'm only beginning on YouTube and you can probably tell that English isn't my first language, so please bear with me. I will try my best to do better in the future. So, let me introduce today's reading. My intention for today's reading is to ask for those who are single out there when you will meet your soulmate, your counterpart, your future husband or wife, the one for you, however you want to call it. Yeah, and the way I do timeline readings is that rather than seeing timelines as precise predictions, because I believe tarot is here to guide us based on our current energies and whatever that we want to achieve. It is not going to determine your future. So my timeline readings will focus on the logical timeline rather than the linear timeline. So for example, if I say something is going to happen in 4 months, that is 4 months based on your current energy. And I will focus on what has to happen before that thing happens in 4 months. So I would encourage you to, rather than focusing on the linear time, the number, say 4 months, focus on what has to happen, the things that we have to do, the steps that we have to pave, so that what we want to manifest can come to us. The way I'm going to organize today's reading is by first looking at your current energy as I did last time. That is for me to get to know you and also for you to see if you've chosen the right pile for yourself or not. And then we will get a quick read on the energy of your soulmate or counterpart, the one, your future husband or wife. After that, we will take a step-by-step look to see what has to happen between the present moment and when you meet that person. And if anybody's wondering why I'm coming on camera this time around, it's because when I was editing last reading, I noticed since I live in a cramped apartment, I didn't really have enough table space for you to see all of the cards well. So I think I'm just going to come on camera from this point on, and then yeah, I will show the cards to you when they flip out, but I won't be showing you the spread. So now let's get to picking your piles. I'm just going to show you the cards like this, so you can just imagine like you have a tarot reader in front of you and you're just going to pull a card. Okay, so this is going to be pile or group number 1. I'm using my archetype card, and this is group number 2 and group number 3. So 1 and 2, 2 and 3. I'll give you a moment before I flip the cards over for you to see what they are. I shuffled them so they are just random cards. However, I do feel like they represent the energy of each group. So I will be using them in the reading for each of the groups as well. If you've chosen your group based on just the back of the card, I'm going to flip them over so you can double check if it's the group that you want, or you might have messages in more than one group. In that case, definitely you're welcome to watch more than just one. Okay, so get ready for group number 1. The card is the Hunter. The Hunter. The artwork is a black horse, and the number is 9. Going to set that aside so I can hold them better in my hands. Group number 2, we have the Castle. The number on this card is 43. Group number 3, you have the unseen. Your number is 27. So, group number 1 has the hunter with number 9. Group number 2 has the castle with number 43. And group number 3 has the unseen with number 27. You can choose based on just the back of the decks or just the number 1 to 3, or you can choose based on the artwork or the words underneath the cards or the number on them, whichever way you like. So, if you've chosen your pile, let's get started into your reading, starting with group number 1. Hi, group 1s. You chose the Hunter card, which has the number 9 on it. Welcome to your reading. I will start by shuffling your tarot cards to get a read for your current energy. This group, I feel, knows the kind of person they're seeking. You know who you want to be with. Because, well, hunters are goal-oriented, aren't they? They have to know what they seek before they set out on a hunting journey. You are also quite skilled in the material world, like in your career or in your studies. You might specialize in one particular subject or field, is what I'm hearing. And some of you have a talent for seeking, retrieving information that's not so commonplace and revealing that information to other people. That might be something you do for a living. So the first thing that came to my mind was a librarian or I guess I'm not sure, maybe someone who works in the field that's not so orthodox. Information seems important to you. Information, knowledge, wisdom could be something that you've always been seeking. So I'm shuffling your tarot cards. I think I'm just going to take 2 cards to represent your current energies and to give me some hint at the kind of person that you want to be with. We have the Four of Swords. I think you've reached a point in your life where you feel stable and secure in the things that you do know. Maybe you've worked hard in the career that you're in to gather that information so that you can share it with others. It's also possible that for many of you, you have a lot of life wisdom. Like, maybe in your friend group, you're the person who everyone goes to for advice. I also think that the person you're looking for is someone who's very collected within themselves, someone who knows what they're doing, both emotionally and in terms of career. Someone who can make a speech and move people with their words. Someone who's intelligent, intellectual. This person also gives me a feeling of being somewhat public, or it could be that you are a somewhat public figure, public person. Your words or the words of your counterpart or soulmate mean a lot to the people around you. In the Mother of Swords, I do feel like you are in, or maybe you aspire to be in a leadership position, and that's also something you look for in a soulmate. But not just any kind of leader, the kind of leader who can bring people together, who can influence the community in a meaningful and positive way. I actually do want to take one more card for your current energy. I was hesitating on one point in particular, but let me see. Just one more card for group 1s. You have the Devil. This is a very intense longing you have for this person. As I said, you probably have always known the kind of person that you want to be with. Like if someone was to ask you what's your type, you know what your type is. And maybe that's not so conventional, maybe that's not so widely accepted, and you might hesitate from telling people that. In the Devil, I do see this is a very, I guess, long-term longing for this person, and being with this person would mean so much to you. It feels like, almost feels like it's a part of your personal personal journey, your spiritual journey, that you're meant to be with this person and to grow with them. In the Devil, it's also possible that you're into some relationships that aren't so conventional, I mean in a sexual way. Or perhaps, yeah, it could be that both of you are into something specific and you also share that interest. I also feel that your journey to union is something that you've been actively managing and actively working on. So you might have even chosen your career or your study, the field of your study, because you want to be with that person, because maybe you think the person I want to be with is someone who works in this field, so I also want to put myself there. Could also be that you've traveled to meet this person. Like, this person is really on your mind. You might think about them a lot and you might feel anxious about meeting them. I think this group might really want to get a read on the timeline. Or maybe you already have a specific plan for when you want to meet that person, or when you think you will likely meet that person. Okay, I'm going to be pulling cards for your counterpart or soulmate now. Get a better look at who they are. Okay, first card that came out is the Eight of Pentacles, which in this deck has a spider on it. If anybody doesn't want to see spider images, look away, or I will just cover the spider, I guess. It's spider in the center of the web, but I do want to show the full image. So if you don't want to see it, turn away now. I do feel like, I guess I'm not a huge insect enthusiast either. I do cringe when they live in my apartment. However, I do feel like this deck uses some insect and bodily and sometimes even gruesome imagery, but I feel it's just really powerful. And well, this image doesn't make me cringe. So yeah, as I said, there is this feeling in your counterpart or soulmate that they are sort of the center of attention. Maybe they're at the center of a social group. Maybe their job is to make connections, to influence people. Influencers, public speakers, CEOs for some of you. Yeah, those could be the careers or the jobs that your soulmate or counterpart has. They're also very practical people. They work really hard in their careers. And they have a very grounded energy. Like, they do things very logically, step by step. So if you feel like maybe sometimes you overplan, especially in order to meet this person, they plan even harder than you. They're like hardcore planners, productive people. And they really value the experience that they've gained in the field that they're in. And they really, I guess, feel grateful, or they appreciate that they are responsible people, that they can be on top of their schedules. I think that's also something that you appreciate. Because another thing I feel in the hunter image is that perhaps some of you could feel a little bit confused or chaotic at times, because the hunter relates to Artemis, who represents the moon, and you know, Selene also represents the moon. It's actually why I chose the name Selene. Yeah, and the moon can represent confusion or having the insight but not having the method or maybe even the willpower to carry it out. So maybe for some of you, you have a lot of great ideas for your future, for the relationship that you want to have with this person, yet you might feel like it's just kind of vague and unpromising, like it's just far off in the future, even though you plan for it really hard and you do put effort into it, whether that's actual, like, practical effort or just mental effort of manifestation and, you know, meditation and self initiating internal changes within yourself. Either way, you do put effort into meeting this person. However, it can still feel uncertain to you and you might doubt whether you are going to meet this person. And that's why I think being with this grounded energy is going to help your personal journey. As I said earlier, being with this person is a huge part of your spiritual growth. Yes, I'm going to get just a timeline estimate straight away and then break it down logically step by step. In order to do that, I'm going to use both the tarot cards that are already out as well as the flower oracle deck. You will see why I'm going to use the flower deck, because the way I read time is perhaps somewhat different than most tarot readers out there. Rather than just looking at the numbers that are on the cards, I like to look at colors. And yeah, this is just a more colorful deck that I have, because I feel like colors have their number correspondences and their energies are just more telling, I guess, than actual numbers to me for some reason. You already have one card out, which is Elder with Ritual. It says Ritual at the bottom, and the color is, I guess, dark purple or like a blackish purple. I want to take one more card. Already I'm hearing or I'm seeing the numbers 7 or 9 or 97. It could be 97 days. Oh, and you have Ghost Pipe with Mystery. This is giving me fall vibes because of the fallen leaves, I guess. Where I am in the world, it is currently spring going into summer, rather the beginning of summer already. So it depends on where you are in the world. It could be fall for you if you're in the northern hemisphere. That's coming up in 3 months, which is, I guess, 97 days-ish. So yeah, fall could definitely be a significant time for you in terms of meeting this person. And also, something having to do with the number 46, or like 1 and 6. I'm getting 1 and 6 vibes. Could be 6 weeks. Could also be 64 days or 46 days. So in 2 to 3 months. Yeah? Oh, 2 to 3 months. All right, and now let's break your timeline down logically, step by step. What do you have to do before you meet this person? Let me take a look at these cards first. You have Ritual and Mystery, already pretty strong suggestion to keep manifesting, because I think some of you are already doing that. If you practice magic, like well, I personally don't, so I can't really think of an example, but if you do, you will know like what the magic options are out there for manifesting loved ones. I've heard some people say spell work really works, but I've never done that personally, so I can't vouch for that. There's something, I'm seeing the image of someone sending out a letter and just releasing that letter. So consider writing out a love letter to your soulmate, the person that you have on your mind. And in the letter, write out where you are currently, what you are doing, what you are thinking, and you don't even have to focus too much on the relationship that you want to have with them. Just focus on yourself first and write to them, ask what they are doing. It's like you're just communicating casually with this person. And once you're done with the letter, just let it go. Keep it in your journal and release it, whether you want to burn it or I don't know, just leave it in your journal and never look at it. The important thing is to let it out there. Don't look back on it. There's something about being in the moment that's very important for this group. Again, it might be because your mind shifts a lot and you might be easily confused. I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it's just because you do think of all the possibilities out there that can happen, and just thinking about so many possibilities can leave us feeling confused. So it is important for you to stay in the moment. If you are happy in the moment, then you are happy in the moment. It's that simple. And the more you can focus on the joy in this moment, the more likely it is to continue to the next moment and the next moment and the moment after that until you meet your soulmate. And you know, they say that in order to manifest better, it's important to be in, I guess, a happy state of mind, because that's when you can be most sensible and logical about the things that you want to ask for. If you manifest from a state of lack, of confusion, of distrust about whether it's going to happen or not, then that can put a lot of insecurity and doubt into you, and you might overemphasize the things that only serve to make you feel safe, but that don't really nourish you, that don't really add to the experience of your life. So, for example, if someone is in a state of insecurity, maybe they haven't been treated well by their loved ones, they would overemphasize I guess that feeling of emotional support in their future partners. Not that emotional support isn't important, of course it is important, but it's also important to recognize the value of independence, to have our own freedoms even when we are in relationships. So if that person manifests from that state of feeling unsafe and insecure and unsupported, they might think that they want someone who would be there all the time, when in reality they might be able to thrive better if they have more personal space, if they have more space to explore their own interests. So you see what I mean? It's important for you to first come into a I guess content and joyful mindset. Of course, it's easier to just tell you to do that. It's very, very different when we have to change our own emotions from within. However, do know that it is important, and it's definitely going to help you meet that right person faster, because you are going to meet that person either way. It's just that if you manifest from a place of lack, you might be manifesting someone that's slightly off from the person that you're supposed to be with. You see what I'm saying? Like in the example I used earlier, the person that person would manifest from a state of insecurity is a little bit more smothering than the person that they're meant to be with. However, they are going to be with that person either way or not, because they have already put so much mental energy towards meeting that person. So the universe is going to deliver you that person. It's just that if you manifest somewhat imprecisely, like you're missing the mark a little bit, it might take longer for the real person to come into your life. Okay? Yeah, I was going to pull tarot cards for the things that have to happen, but I got on a tangent there. So let's come back to your tarot, which fell completely on the floor, so excuse me 1 second. Alright. And the card that came out was the Moon card. I'm hearing for some of you, make a decision. That might be the first thing that you have to do. You might be choosing between two possible paths. For some of you, it could be two possible physical paths, like two possible places to be. Yeah, especially with the 8 of Cups here, you might be considering leaving a place for somewhere else. And I feel like some of you are indecisive about that. Even if it's not a choice between physical paths, a lot of you are choosing between staying in your current situation and choosing a path that's less traveled by the community that you are with, the community that you grew up with, or maybe your family. I do feel like a lot of you watching this group are divine feminine people, or feminine people, whatever you resonate with, and the person that you are manifesting has this King of Wands energy, like a masculine person. Doesn't really have to be a man, it can just be someone with a lot of masculine energy, a masculine person in a leadership position who knows what they're doing with their life and with their work. So yeah, make that decision first. I want to see if Tarot has more guidance on which way you should go, because from the cards that came out, I wasn't really sure. Some of you are meant to go on a detour or explore the unknown a little bit, like to just try out, experience life before you come into union So, oh, and the moon card came out again. That was weird. I did put it back into the deck and I was reshuffling the deck, but it came out again. Let me take a closer look at it. Your intuition might already be telling you which direction you should go. You might also have a spiritual source, a spiritual mentor, maybe someone who just has a lot of wisdom, and yeah, you can trust their opinion when it comes to this decision. And you also have the Nine of Pentacles. I want to tell you, I don't know if this message is welcome to you or not, but a lot of you are meant to be on your own for a little bit longer. You are meant to find your own abundance, your own creativity before you meet this person. And I do think that is for your highest good. As I said, some of you might be feeling just insecure and like you're trying to rush things, maybe because it is very lonely and difficult to be on your own, especially when you know so well who you're supposed to be with. However, you have a lot of potential in creating abundance and a beautiful life for yourself on your own before you come into union with that person. And I think earlier I said that a lot of you are meant to take on a detour to experience life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this is probably not a message for everyone, but for quite a few of you out there who are trying to decide between two paths, to either leave a place for somewhere that's less traveled or perhaps less accepted by the people you've been with, or to stay in your current place. It's a kind of, I guess, roundabout and compromised answer, because the answer I'm getting is that leaving is not going to bring you to your soulmate or counterpart directly. It is going to give you the life experience that will enrich you, so that when you meet that person, you will be much happier and much readier to start a life with them. Okay, I don't know if you like to hear that or not, because I do feel like you are very intent on meeting that person. Yeah, but I do want to tell you, as much as being with that person is important to your spiritual journey, it is equally important for you to experience life on your own and to, well, I guess, tap into your potential and see all the possibilities that you have, both before you come into union and after. So never compromise your own potentials, never compromise your own freedom. Like you are the hunter, and the hunter has to be free. The hunter has to hunt. You know, she is adventurous, she is even predatory. She's very she's got a lot of personal will. So yeah, you're not supposed to compromise your freedom or your personal will just to come into union. That's not what this journey is about. So if I really have to give advice, I would say go on that detour. Whatever that detour means to you in your current situation. We also have the Daughter of Pentacles in this deck, which is the Page of Pentacles in traditional tarot. Maybe some of you are going to become a student again, or maybe just to become, or yeah, to study something, and that could be the detour, in which case I think it'll be a very creative and productive opportunity for you. You will be able to learn and grow a lot. And yeah, let me take a look at maybe what has to happen on their end before they can come into union with you. Oh, Six of Swords. Seems like they are also having to leave a place. And I feel like their travel is more in the physical sense. Like they're probably currently away from you, maybe in a different city or even country. And it's like your journeys, I feel like your journeys are more about them coming towards you than you leaving to find them. If you know, yeah, what I mean. it seems like they have to come to a realization about what they value in their lives, whether that's in terms of career or in terms of personal life, like emotional fulfillment. And once they realize that, they will take on this journey, and that journey is going to lead them to you. Don't overthink. Don't overmanage your path to union. Manage yourself, manage your future first before you manage the path to that person. And temperance, there's something complementary with the talents that you have and the talents that your soulmate has. You could either be working in the same field or related fields. If not, then you can still support each other's careers a lot. So again, personal development, sticking to your plans and them sticking to their plans, and growing your mind, developing your mind. Those are important things that have to happen on your journey to union. So if you're considering leaving to go to a program, like a study program, or you're considering leaving somewhere to further some creative project that you have to do something creative relating to your career, I would suggest that you do that. Even if it's not a physical journey that you have to make, even if it's just a change of mindset to prioritize your own career and creativity and your material future, like building a beautiful and happy life for yourself, do that first, and that will bring you into a deeper sense of security and contentment, and that's going to help you manifest your partner so much better. Okay. Oh, I did say your linear timeline. Remember 97 days, or what did I say? 64, 46, 2-3 months, or fall season. Oh, so I guess it is soon. It is still pretty soon. I think for your group, even though I said like you have to take on a detour, it's not a huge detour. It's more like a change of mindset that you have to make. It's more like a different understanding that you have to welcome into your life. The understanding that you need to prioritize your own growth, your own happiness, your own abundance before you come into union with that person. So that's all of the messages that I have for you, my dear group number 1. Thank you so much for listening. I do hope this reading was more pleasant to listen to than the last one. I hope I didn't say too many ums or yes or have weird pauses. I had those and I edited them out in the last video, but I was being very conscious not to do that in this reading, and yeah, I don't think I have as much to edit as I did last time. So I really hope you enjoyed this reading, and I like to say in closing, in both my tarot readings and my yoga classes, which the first one is also up on YouTube. Yeah, so I like to say in closing that the light in me sees and supports the light in you. There's always the higher self within us, and that's the light that we should follow. So follow your light, follow your passion, follow your creativity first. Prioritize yourself first, okay? I hope I will see you in my next video. Bye! Hello, welcome group number 2. You chose the castle with number 47 here on the from my archetype deck. I will be shuffling tarot cards first to get a read of your current energy, and also to give me a hint at the kind of person that you are manifesting, that you want to come into union with. I already feel very strong messages from the castle card, but I don't want to say that outright because it might it might shock a few of you, might not be what you want to hear. I want to double check with tarot first before I say what's on my mind. So, shuffling the cards. One thing I will say outright, abundance or like wealth might be very meaningful or important to you. I mean, of course, like for all of us, it's nice to have money. But for your group in particular, you place a lot of I guess value on wealth, but not in a bad way. I never want to judge anybody for wanting to make money or wanting to have money, because that is so human, and money is only a tool for us to do the things that we do want to do in our life, to create meaning in our life. So money itself is never wrong. It's how we use money. However, I think for your group, money comes with the assurance that you can be the person you want to be, the assurance that you can afford the lifestyle that would resonate with you, that would make you feel confident and happy and powerful. You might currently be in a situation or relationship. Even some of you watching this might not be single. You might already be in a relationship, or your situation might already bring you a lot of money. So whether that's from your situation or from the relationship that you are in, for those of you who aren't single but still watching this video, it's also possible that for some of you, the relationship that you will enter into brings a lot of wealth. However, I do feel like there are caveats to that. My cards aren't shuffling properly, but anyway, yeah, okay. I think I want to get 4 tarot for your current energy spread. Actually, I did just 2 for the last group. However, I do feel like there are 2 different kinds of people watching group number 2. So I'm going to have 2 cards for each of those 2 subgroups in group number 2. You also have the number 47. Oh, sorry, that was group 3's card. Your card is right here. You have number 47, which to me has the feeling of stability, of creating a solid home or solid foundation, a stable structure for your life. And that is so weird. I wonder if group number 1, some of the group number 1s are here. There are some like similar energies from a card that came out. Yeah. That is so weird. Another card from group number 1. Maybe you were also drawn to group number 1? Okay. There are some self-limitation and self-limiting, even perhaps self-sabotaging beliefs or behaviors going on in this group. Might not be so obvious. Some of you might have put yourselves in a situation that makes you feel safe and stable, yet that also limits you. That makes you feel almost a little bit suffocated with this 7 of Swords and 8 of Swords here, and the Devil. I think there's something in your current environment that's almost lurking behind. It's not that it's really going to harm you or like injure you in any significant way. However, I do feel like there's something you have to know. What does group number 2 have to know about? I'm going to pull on a card. Something within the home or the stability, like maybe the career that you've put yourself into, specifically the people. For those of you already in the relationship, I would really hesitate to give this message because I don't want to mislead anyone who's not really in the situation. So please only take the message if it resonates with you, if you can match it to your personal situation. Okay? For some of you who are in a relationship and watching, something some people in the family of the person that you're with might have some issues with you, like it's a feeling of jealousy, or maybe just they don't really welcome you into their family, or they might just like keep you at an arm's length. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they might be nice to you on the surface, but at the same time they don't really welcome you like from the bottom of their heart. Yeah, it's either that or something in your work environment that's not exactly supporting you, that's not exactly I guess sincere with you. Some people aren't sincere with you in your work environment, so please be take notice of that if that is really your situation. But as I said, leave it, forget it if it's not your situation. I don't want to, have you guys doubting the people that you're with just because of a tarot reading online. There is again this feeling that you might have changed yourself somewhere, that you don't really want to stay for the long term. You might chose to be here because it has the feeling of stability, maybe even the promise of wealth. However, know that this is going to limit you. You're not going to get the compassion from the people around you that you deserve. You're not really going to get that emotional fulfillment from this place or this limiting situation that you've put yourself in. Could even be the things that you are pursuing. Doesn't have to be the things that are already around you. It could be something that you are wanting to get into. If you have a really clear goal on your mind, a goal that you're working for because maybe someone else said you should do it, maybe because you think it's going to bring you the wealth that you want, that you deserve to have in this lifetime. If you don't really, what I'm saying is that if you don't really emotionally resonate with that goal or with the situation that you're in, second guess it, rethink it. There's something that you're not seeing in the situation that's not so beneficial to you, and there's also something you're not seeing in other possibilities that could be more beneficial to you, because the castle is both stability and almost like a prison. Yeah, it's putting up walls around us so that we can feel safe, so that we can feel supported. However, we can't live inside walls for the rest of our lives, can we? It's important to find home within yourself, especially within your mind, because I feel like for some of you in this group, that's the reason I feel like maybe some of group ones are cross-watching, or maybe you're also drawn to group one. Some of you feel unsupported just from your past experience, and you might feel a bit of insecurity from within. Like, for example, you might have a lot of fears regarding how your future will turn out, even though you plan for it, even though you work hard for the future that you want to have. You might still have many irrational fears about things not working out and anxiety about it, or just constantly doubting yourself to the point where even if you're able to make sensible decisions, if you doubt it so much, it's like, can you really make a decision like that? It's not because you aren't capable of making good decisions. You are, and it's not because you lack the information you need. It's just this insecurity that's holding you back, that might have put you into limiting situations. So yeah, and let me move on to pulling cards for the energy of your soulmate or counterpart. And we have the 9 of Wands. Climb me up a ladder. Interesting. And let me get one more card. The energy of group 2's soulmate or counterpart or fusion husband, wife, life partner material. your cards have been not so easy to shuffle. From the very beginning of this reading, Two of Swords, again, you're choosing between... Oh, this is also similar to group 1. Staying or leaving a situation. There is something self-contradictory within your mind. Ask yourself what you really want, what would really make you happy. And look at where you are putting your energy, like the things that you are working on actively day after day. There's a conflict between your subconscious or unconscious mind and your conscious mind. The things you are actively working for might not be good for your highest good, your highest happiness. Wow, I guess I don't really like telling people this message, but please just be more aware if that applies to you, because it is something that you have to address sooner or later. It's better sooner than later. Yeah. There is some closure that's needed before you come into union with this counterpart or soulmate person. I know this part of the reading is supposed to be about their energy, yet your situation is coming up time and time again. It looks like either the person that you're with, that maybe you're not so happy being with, or the person that you think you should be with is also striving for something that's actually straining them. Ooh, it's another hard message to deliver. Again, please just leave it if it doesn't resonate with you. Maybe go to another group, pick another card. But I do feel like some of you watching need to hear this. It is possible that either the person that you are currently with or the person you think you want to be with, it is possible that they are not in alignment with your highest good, with your highest joy. Especially if they are also seeking after something from a place of insecurity, from a place of lack, of fearing not having enough resources, not having enough money. It's also possible that they just have to change their path. And in that case, they would still be the person that you're meant to be with. Either that you are maybe you've picked the wrong person and you should reconsider that, or your partner, either current or future partner, has to change their path, has to change their limiting belief, because in your group there is a mirrored energy between you and your soulmate. In group 1, if you are coming from group 1 or interested in watching group 1, the energy was more complementary. However, in your group, it is more mirroring. You are very similar to your soulmate, the one for you. I want to get your timeline reading now. I've been using my Flower Oracle deck to do timeline readings, not just on YouTube, but also like for personal in-person readings, and I really love them. I know a lot of people out there, they read the numbers that are on the tarot cards that come out, but for me, I resonate more with seeing colors and the numbers that they correspond with, the colors correspond with for me personally. So yeah, and this deck is very colorful. I want to get maybe 3 cards for 3 possible different options. Just give me a linear timeline before we get into the step-by-step logical timeline of things that have to happen before you come into union. We have, is this Barrage or Borage with Courage. 7, again, the number 7. You had 43 on your oracle deck from the beginning, which is also, it adds up to number 7. And this is also, it adds up to a number 7 for me. So 7 weeks, months. I'm getting more month vibes from this card. Not 7 years. Wait a second. It depends on if you're willing to reconsider your path or not. For some of you, you really do need to reconsider. Please reconsider. I don't say these messages lightly. I really don't like to say these messages, to be honest. But yeah, if you are in that situation, please reconsider your path and the environment you are in, the people you are with, even the relationship that you are in currently. If there really is nothing to second guess, watch another group, please. Okay, I'm going to get 2 more cards for your timeline prediction. Oh, also within that, the card from earlier, Courage, with a purple or dark blue and a reddish pink, like a cold tone pink. The month of May could be significant for quite a few of you. It is June when I'm uploading this video, so it could be May next year, to be honest. There's also something about summer season, but hold on, I got a specific image. It's ice cream in summer, like that cold and hot feeling at the same time. So I don't know if you celebrate summer with some, ice cream rituals or just cold dessert ritual, or I don't know, cold showers. That could be a time frame that's relevant to you. Or if you do things in the winter season, that's maybe like, say you go to hot springs, you go to like I don't know, you go to bonfire parties. That could also be a relevant time frame. Let me get 2 more cards. I've been pulling these 2 cards forever. Okay. Ooh, we have Magic with Lady's Mantle. Lady's Mantle, maybe. And we have Calendula with Brighton. You've got green and yellow in these 2 cards, and blue and red. These are like, they're not exactly opposite colors on the color wheel. They are still somewhat harmonious, but not exactly. I think these are primary and secondary colors. I'm not an artist, but I like watching art videos on YouTube. So I'm getting the vibe of, in astrology, a square aspect. Either that could be a time frame of 4 months, or it could be more metaphorically. The square aspect in astrology means conflict, means things not in harmony, not in alignment with each other. Could be that you're not in alignment currently, you're not exactly on your best path, or you and your soulmate that you want to meet, are not currently on the same page. However, I do feel like this feeling of, squaring and conflict, it's not so deep. It is still, it can still be easily addressed in not a very long time, not like years or even decades into the future, but months possibly. For some of you, your own personal transformation might take months before you are on the right path towards union. Wow, I really I know it's not a nice message to hear. Again, I'm going to repeat that. Please ignore everything I say if it's not resonating with you at all. Okay? Let me take a look at the things that you can do right now, the things that should happen before you come into union, the things that will help you enter into alignment with your highest self and the path that's meant for you. I'm going to be pulling cards from a different tarot deck. I did not use that deck for group number 1 because the deck I'm going to use for you has has more spiritual meanings to me. And I do feel like you are on a personal transformation journey. Oh, if you did not watch my first video, it is about personal transformation and how you can become your best self, the person that you want to be with, the person that you're meant to be with. Again, as I said in the intro, my delivery in that reading really wasn't so good, so I guess I'm not going to encourage you to watch that if you don't really want to watch it. But I would really, really appreciate if you do want to watch that, because the information there is still very helpful. I did rewatch that, and I do stand by everything I said in that video. It's just that I said so many ums and yes, and yeah, I was also nervous because it was my first reading, and it's going to get better from this point on. I promise I will do better. Okay, you got the Five of Swords, which is defeat again. Someone might have not so good intentions towards you. You might find yourself in conflict, social conflict, more often than you'd like. In that case, I say this with only compassion, and please understand that I only say this because I think knowing it would help you. Please know that the conflict that we face externally are a reflection of inner conflict. I don't mean to say that you created the conflicts that you find yourself in, not like that at all. It's just that the conflicts out there are there so we can see the conflicts within us so that we can grow. It is like life is putting up a mirror in front of us. It is for our own growth. It is not pleasant to go through it. However, well, think about it this way. If mistakes aren't unpleasant, how would we know that they are mistakes, right? Life is always guiding us into a more sensible way of being, into the highest intelligence, whether you think of that as the spirit or as God or as universe or simply as intelligence, as wisdom. Life is always guiding us there. And how can life do that if mistakes or misalignment aren't unpleasant to us? Whenever things feel off, whenever you are in conflict, that is always a sign that is always an opportunity to grow. Specifically, the conflict that you face externally, those people might represent limiting self-beliefs you have about yourself. The words they say might subconsciously also be things you think about yourself, or it could be that they just represent some limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. Like, you might be limiting your possibilities. You might think this career path or this being with this person is the only way I can find my wealth, my fulfillment. That's not true. All of us has the genius to create abundance for ourselves, no matter where we are, no matter what situation we are in. That is what human genius is for. That is the intelligence that we are born with. So honor your own creativity, honor your own life, and honor the spiritual path you are on. You would not be watching this video if you weren't ready to hear these things, if you weren't on a spiritual journey, if you didn't want to become a better, more fulfilled person. And we have the Eight of Pentacles coming out. Same card as a card in group 1, but from a different deck. You guys might be cross-watching. Possible that you were drawn to both groups. A lot of you. In this card, this is a different interpretation than what I gave you in group 1. This card has the feeling of self-improvement, of sprucing up your own life, especially changing your own image. I know that sounds kind of shallow, maybe to some people, but not to me. Changing your image is a way to signify to our subconscious mind that we are ready to become a different person, that we are taking our lives seriously, that we take ourselves seriously, that we value and honor and respect ourselves. Put some attention into how you do your beauty routines, how you get ready every day, how you take care of your physical body. I got the feeling that for some of you, self-care is not encouraged by the people you're with, especially by the person you're in a relationship with, or maybe by their family, maybe by their social group. It's possible that your self-care routines conflict with the social commitments that you have in order to be with that person, or in order to stay in that job or in that situation. Again, as I said in the very beginning, the feeling of wealth, abundance, material abundance is super important to this group. It's a huge part of your personal growth. It is something you're meant to experience in this life. A lot of your insecurity and the issues that you think you have within really can be solved if you could feel more supported by your environment. And I like to say this to my friends and to whoever I would read for, that if a problem can be solved materially, physically, with money, with resources, do that first before you try out spiritual solutions, because those things are really more difficult, because they require a lot more attention, a lot more focused energy, and a lot more personal will, even a sense of personal power. And being materially supported, being well nourished, being well sustained by this life is really the first step that empowers us on a spiritual journey. That is what gives us the sense of personal power. And spiritual transformations are pretty much only possible when you have that energy, when you have that personal power within you already. Okay? So don't shame yourself for wanting wealth. Don't judge yourself for that. Know that it is important for you. It is especially important for you than other people out there, because they might already have enough social support. They might already have enough wealth in their from their early experience in this life. You might have grown up with a family who aren't exactly, supportive of all the aspects of you. Maybe they taught you that you have to be one particular way, or you wouldn't be accepted, or something like that. It's possible that you also have experience with poverty, but not necessarily that, just not having enough material resources to sustain you. And that is why it is super important to find wealth for yourself. However, don't compromise your personal values for that. Don't limit yourself just to feel secure, because that security is not true security. It doesn't come with compassion, because what you really need as from the bottom of your heart within this castle card is not exactly money, material wealth, but emotional wealth, emotional fulfillment, the feeling of that you are socially supported. And really, money is the most obvious way that people socially support each other, isn't it? Like, for example, parents taking care of their children, sustaining them, giving them food. A lot of social and emotional support come in the form of material support. But what's really important is the emotional support underneath. So don't compromise emotional fulfillment just to be in a financially secure position. I'm not telling you to be risky with your money either. Not telling you to make high risk or financial decisions that aren't so sensible, but just be more aware of whether you are limiting yourself. Oh, one more thing. Spend more time with the friends who really have compassion for you, who really think of you as their own people, who can support you, who can just hang out with you, who can just, for example, if you have to do something that feels difficult, that feels challenging, they would just do it with you, or they would just be there. They would show up for you, even if they can't really give you the emotional support that a partner can, even if you can't support you financially. Yeah, go hang out with those people. That can help you feel more fulfilled and happy from within. That's one thing you have to do before you come into union or on your way to union. We have the Ace of Wands, and then Justice, number 8. You got quite a few number 8s in this reading. You got the 8 of Swords and 8 of Pentacles, 8 of, what was that again? Oh, 8 from the Major Arcana, which is Justice. Justice is number 8, and 8 is a number about cause and effect, and our actions having consequences, and that we are who we are in this moment because of what we have experienced in the past, and that our future is also a result of what we create in this moment. It's important for you to make the right decision at this point. A decision that prioritizes your creativity, your passion, especially if you aren't satisfied sexually within a relationship, or maybe in your past relationship. That is something that's also important for this group. Physicality and comfort and the feeling of luxury, those things are important to this group, and also beauty. Again, as I said, spending more time, giving more attention to your beauty routines, to your self-care rituals. It's possible that for some of you, your sexuality is the thing that hasn't been fully accepted by the people that you've been in relationships with. Maybe you know that your family would not support your sexuality. In that case, you know what's really important to you in the long term, right? If you have to compromise, I think you do know which one to compromise and which one to value, to keep in your life. We have the Sun card. The Sun card from the Major Arcana. Again, lots of mirroring energy between you and your soulmate. Both of you have this feeling of renewal and rebirth. Almost shedding your old selves and becoming someone new. And I do feel that this person is a long-term person. It's the person you will be with for the rest of your life. Huge, huge, huge marriage, family, engagement potential. Let's get there's something about reading a book that I was seeing from this card. It's an interpretation that's not at all relevant to the official interpretations of this tarot card, but I am just seeing that it's possible that you reading a book that's been on your reading list forever could help you. Also, for some of you, especially if you have a spiritual book that you want to read, some scripture or just a spiritual classic or something like that, like learning about either spirituality, or if you are wanting to do something creative, to learn something about that creative field could be helpful. I think I want to get another. Yeah, you do have to be willing to let go of your current situation. You might be holding yourself where you are for longer than you should. We have the Seven of Swords again, which came out earlier from another tarot deck. This is the card that's in self-conflict, that says maybe our environment has something hidden from us. Again, that message is coming out strong. And you got the moon card, as did group number 1, by the way. I think both you and your soulmate could be in confusion. I do feel like you can sense that person to some extent. Perhaps you already know this, and the person that you sense is going through similar frustration. You might also feel like the person that you're meant to be with would be able to understand the situation that you're currently in. They would be able to understand the anxieties that you have. In that case, I think your intuition is confirmed by that card. Yeah. Let me summarize your reading for you, because we did go over a lot of different things. Really take perhaps a hard look at whether you are currently in alignment in terms of your relationship or work environment, or just the people you find yourself with. Okay, that's really the most important thing. And understand that wealth is very valuable and beneficial to you, so go after it without feeling any shame or judgment on yourself. But also know that the true value and meaning of wealth comes from, emotional wealth comes from being supported by the people around you. That's what you're meant to chase after in this part of your journey. And again, yeah, your timeline was, what was it, 7 months, or 4 months, or either summer season when you also do something cold or have something cold, or winter season when you do or have something hot. Okay, that is all the messages I have for you, dear group number 2. If you were drawn to group number 1, really consider that. And also, if you want to get more messages on who you should become, how to step into alignment to your highest self, maybe consider watching my first video. I'm going to put in a plug here. Okay. Yeah, I like to say in closing that the light in me sees and supports the light in you. This is also something I say at the end of my yoga classes. The first one is also up on YouTube, since I am a certified yoga teacher and I want to be doing that on YouTube alongside my tarot readings. Yeah, and I say the light in me sees and supports the light in you because our highest selves, the light is always within us, and it's important to be with the people who can see that light in you, and it's more important for you to honor that light within. Yeah, that's all that I want to say. So I hope to see you in my next video. Bye. Hi group number 3s, welcome to your soulmate timeline reading. You picked the unseen card with number 27. It's such a beautiful eye artwork, isn't it? Okay, let's get started into reading your current energies so that I can get to know you and also get a hint about who you want to be with. Shuffling the tarot cards. Already from the unseen oracle card, a lot of you are clairvoyant, a lot of you are psychics and intuitive people. Like, you might rely on your insights a lot, your intuition a lot. A lot of your decisions might seem to defy common sense or logic to a lot of people, yet they always turn out to be the right choice for you. I'm hearing that some of you have really good ears, you have good hearing. You might be musicians or just enjoy music, I guess. You have unusual ways of getting information, whether that's with your intuition, with your clairvoyance, or your clairsentience. Quite a few different clairs out there. Like, people can get information from seeing images in their heads, or hearing things, or feeling things in their body, or just empathetically. That might be, you might be also very empathetic and be able to feel what other people are feeling. Okay, let's shuffle your tarot. Let's see what the cards have to say about you. Something almost came out, but I don't take cards that almost come out. I take cards that know what they want to say. Okay. Taking a while. Oh, and they're out. Okay, I will just take these 2 cards. You've got the 5 of Wands and the 4 of... Oh, sorry, just 4, the Emperor. The 4 of the Major Arcana. You might be already quite established in your life, established in your career, or be in the path that has promise of long-term potential, like be in a path like law or medicine, where the path is relatively clear compared to other career tracks. So yeah, you go through a set course of study and you go to the jobs are pretty much written out on paper for you before you enter into that path. You're kind of in that situation, or you might just be already quite established in your career, like high up in your career ladder. In the 5 of Wands, I can see you deal with people a lot. You might be managing people a lot for what you do, and you are really good at that, because this card usually it has a negative connotation of being in social conflict, but that's not the case for you. I feel like you are the one managing the conflict. You are the one making something harmonious out of conflict. You are the one who can thrive even when there's social conflict around. And I actually get quite some masculine energy from this group, which I guess is less common. I don't know, it just seems that most people who watch tarot readings on YouTube are or identify as females. However, you could also be feminine or a female person. There's just a lot of motivated and driven energy in this pile, which is really cool. I want to get into reading your future spouse or your soulmate, your counterpart. We have the Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot deck. Ooh, they seem to balance you out quite well. Whether that person is, whether they identify as male or female or non-binary, their energy is perhaps more feminine and fluid than your current energy. Of course, our energies are never just set in stone for the rest of our lives. It's just where you are currently at and where they are currently at. I'm going to take one more card for that person. They are also going to woo you, by the way. They're going to pursue you, like give you flowers and like checking on you after a date with you, and just messaging you. They will be the one to initiate conversation with you. They really want to spoil you. Like, they really like you and they just want to dote on you and lavish their resources on you, specifically buying you flowers. Oh yeah, okay, more cards came out. Oh, you got the Queen of Swords. Mother of Swords in this deck, same as a card that came out in group 1. And Justice, same card came out in group 2, but from a different tarot deck. So weird. Like, maybe the people watching this video just share similar energies, or you guys might just be cross-watching different groups, which I'm really grateful for. If you're doing that, thank you so much. That really supports me, and thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, anyway. Oh, although for your group, these 2 cards came out for your counterpart, not for you. It was for the people who are watching this video in the other groups. Yeah. Could even be that your counterpart is watching the other 2 groups. Yeah. So your counterpart is a very intelligent person and a very smart person. They are creative, spontaneous, flexible, yet they are still, how do I want to put it? Like, they know what they're doing day to day. Their lives aren't chaotic, even though it seems spontaneous. There is an order behind their fluidity, an order that's not even difficult to find. Like, this person, they are committed towards something that has a lot of emotional meaning to them, perhaps something creative, and they work hard to achieve that. It's just that their method of working towards those goals aren't so rigid. Like, they might just work on it when they feel like it, yet it always turns out that they finish things on time. It's that kind of person. With Justice here, this person is also quite wise. They can offer you great advice. This person is also not judgmental. Like, they would be able to see the good and bad in every situation. They probably wouldn't even call it good versus bad. They would be telling you, if you do this, then you get this. If you do that, then you get that. And I'm fine with either way, whatever you want to do. That kind of person is your soulmate and counterpart. Because I do feel like your energy, when I said your energy feels more masculine to me, I meant that you are quite determined. You know how to achieve things, especially in social environments, like in work, or just in terms of what your friend group would do when you meet. You are probably the one to make decisions for that. And your soulmate is someone who would gladly go along with whatever you have planned out. It's not that they don't have opinions themselves. If you ask, they probably do have opinions and preferences themselves. It's just that because they are so non-judgmental, in this card, they can see the positive sides, the opportunities in pretty much any situation, and they welcome that spontaneity and that life has surprises for all of us. They really like that idea. They also like to surprise you. I think they would feel amazing if you also surprise them in return. Like, do some romantic gesture for them without them knowing about it. They would really appreciate that, because especially if that's not who you have been, if like giving surprises isn't something that you're used to doing, because they would know that and they would appreciate you. They would appreciate your efforts so much, because they know that you've gone out of your way to do something that would make them happy. That you see them, that you see they are this kind of person who enjoys surprises and being flexible. Like, say, so yeah, as an example, plan a spontaneous trip with this person. Just kidnap them from their work and take them along for a ride. They would appreciate that. Yeah. Funny message that came out. Okay, I'm going to go into your timeline prediction now. Using my Flower Oracle deck. I've been using this deck instead of what I know a lot of tarot readers do, which is looking at the numbers on the cards. I also do that. I take that into account. However, my favorite way of predicting timeline is with colors, and this is a very colorful deck. So yeah, I will be taking 3 cards for maybe 3 possible different options for this group. Timelines of when you will come into union with that soulmate of yours. We've got Sage, Purify with the colors. This is a somewhat like desaturated and warm purple, and a also desaturated and warm green, purple and green. These 2 colors are quite difficult to match with each other. Like, if you wear purple and green, they don't really match. However, in this card, they match really well, which I think represent your situation with your soulmate. Like, it might seem from the outside looking in that you are quite different people. However, it is because of your difference that you are able to complement each other. You can give the other what they sort of lack, or maybe they haven't prioritized. Oh, and Magic. This card also came out in group 2. Maybe you guys are watching other groups. In that case, thank you again. Thank you so much. Another card with green in it. However, group 2 really had a different energy than yours. I don't know, you could be... Oh, I don't know if I should say this, but perhaps group 2 should watch this group because you could be the person that they are turning into. Anyway, let me get one more card before I tell you the timeline. This is just a linear timeline, as I said in the beginning. What really matters is what has to happen before union happens. Okay? Linear timeline is just an estimate. Yeah, based on current energy. What's more important is that we work towards the union that we want to have. Golden Poppy with Dream. It's a very bright orangey yellow. Okay. 17, number 17, 37, 47. I'm just gonna throw out all the numbers that I see here, and then let's make sense out of them later. Okay, so 17, 13, 37, 47, and what's this? 36. Those could be numbers of days. Could also be months, like the month of what would that season be when things start to look grayish? Like maybe that's early winter, like fall into winter. That could be an important time frame. So I guess that would be between November or even November to January, depending on where you are in the world and what the climate is like there. It's both the season of things returning to Earth and things birthing out of the Earth. So, fall into winter or winter into spring. Those transitory times are important to this group. I guess March 7th would be something that has both the number 3 and 7, and also time that maybe it would be winter turning into spring. And yeah, I think that's all that I'm getting from these cards. Let me look at what they say. We have Dream, Purify, and Magic. Dream, Purify, and Magic. Oh, it's such an obvious message to start with. Your dreams. And yeah, your dreams could be telling you messages about this person. You might be dreaming about them, or you don't have to dream about them in particular. You might wake up with the feeling of so much joy and fulfillment as if you were with that person. Could also be something like that. The card that says Purify, this is the card that made me think of things returning to Earth, like the closing of a project. Not just the closing, but what happens after a project finishes. You are in between projects, in between stages, perhaps even in between work, in between jobs. However, in your group, I really think it's not because you will be unemployed. It's because you might be, if that's you, you might be wanting to switch jobs rather than having to switch jobs. Yeah, it's when one cycle, one project, one thing ends, and before another thing begins. It's that time. That's important for this group. And yeah, it's also important to purify yourself and your environment when this time happens. You know, make sure you don't have just things from your past project that you don't need going into the future. Make sure you don't have clothes that are too worn to wear ever again. And it seems like you are also starting, it's around the time that you're meeting this person, you're also starting a brand new project. Maybe something you haven't done before, something that's a pretty close to a total new beginning for you. I have that feeling. Yes, you might be up leveling in your work, or even going to a slightly different position in your work, or just be trying out something different, be experimenting with something different. Okay, let's go back to tarot to see what has to happen before union. Let's get the logical timeline before you are able to meet that person. We have the Seven of Swords. I feel like this card also came out in group 1, but the interpretation I would give you is quite different. It seems like you will be in quite an intense meeting with some people. This probably has to do with work. It seems like you will be discussing some complicated subjects, complicated topics, like preparing for a huge conference, preparing for a huge presentation, a pitch meeting, preparing for some kind of launch of a product, or just be meeting for things like that and having really intense discussions with the people that you work with or that you meet with. Could doesn't really have to be in a work setting, could also be with your friends, your family. You're having a really heated and deep discussion about what you guys should be doing in life or things like that. When I say heated, I don't mean in conflict. As I said, you are really good at thriving in those potentially conflicting social situations. You always manage to respect everyone in that situation and make them feel heard and make them feel like their diverse opinions matter, so that they wouldn't censor themselves just for the harmony of the group. So yeah, this kind of intense discussion might be something that has to pave the way towards your union with your soulmate. Let me get a few more tarot cards. What else should happen? We've got the High Priestess. Oh, let me come back to your unseen card from the very beginning. When I said you are clairvoyant, you are intuitive, you are possibly even psychics. In which case, well, hi there. Yeah, this is confirmed by the High Priestess card from tarot, because both of these cards have to do with our intuition, have to do with inner knowing, have to do with knowing beyond logic. As I said, maybe this transition, you know, when you meet your soulmate, the transition that you will be going through is a decision that doesn't seem to make so much sense to everyone around you, yet you feel called, you feel it's sensible, you understand the sense behind it, you know why you're doing it. To you, it's not purely intuitive, it's not purely a psychic decision. To you, it has logic. It's just that if you were to explain it to people, they might either not have experienced it, so they wouldn't understand, or I don't know, they would just not be able to understand as well as you can. Yeah. There's also something about stepping into a higher up leadership role. If you already are in a leadership position, this is a higher up leadership position. If you aren't, then leadership position. Yeah. Having more people you manage who work for you or for the company that you work for, and stepping into a more visionary kind of role rather than a management kind of role. So you might be involved in the decision making of higher up in your company or higher up in your career. You might also be doing some kind of a consultant kind of role, be giving your advice, your insight that could be based on your intuition and not just on physical data. I also feel like you manage your intuition and your logic pretty well. When you give advice, people, even if that advice comes to you through your intuition, they don't really, the other people don't really know that. They think you have your logic, which, I mean, you do have your logic. It's just that you know how to explain your intuition in a way that's sensible for others. Yeah, what did we cover? We said possible closing of a project before you start a new one. We said intense heated discussion, like in a meeting or something like that, or and stepping into a higher leadership visionary kind of role. Let's see what else should happen. These all yeah, they probably all have to do with your work. Ace of Swords, again, that new idea, new beginning. This new beginning might not be, it might be a little bit more long-term oriented, like you might be building something from the ground up. You know this decision makes sense, yet it might not bring you immediate rewards. That's the kind of transition you might be going towards. You might also, I think for a lot of you, you already know, you already have the idea for this new project, this new phase of your life in your mind. So you would know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then perhaps you are considering just moving to a higher up leadership position. That's also possible. Or just to move into a more public position. Let me get, I think I want to get one last card. Yeah, working with a team. It's possible that your soulmate is someone on your team once you start that new project. It seems if they are someone on your team, they are the person that's creative, that's playful in their work approach. Look out for people like that in your team. This person might start out as a subordinate. They might be one of the people that you manage in your work. However, they do have a lot of insight and intelligence within them already. They just might have a younger energy. It doesn't mean that they are necessarily younger than you. It's possible that on first sight they seem young and playful and fun and kind of like up in the air type of energy. But again, if you really ask for their opinions, as in this Justice card, they can give you really good advice. They can give you the pros and cons of each situation, and they would accept your decisions no matter what you make, and they will be able to help you actually create the best out of every decision that you make. Okay, that's all of the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. I like to say in closing that the light in me sees and supports the light in you. It's something I also say at the end of my yoga classes, the first of which is also up on YouTube. Yeah, I say that because the light, our highest self, our highest happiness is already within us, and it's important for us to follow that light and to recognize that light in each other to help guide them towards their light, especially for a group like you that's already intuitive and clairvoyant. You already have the light, so please follow it and use your light to lead others. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!